Okay, who's hungry? Hi, my name's Franco and this is Franco Eats. Today, I'm to actually be cooking my favorite part of that chicken, which is the French airline breast. So this is my favorite cut of that chicken because of one thing, the fact that it holds moisture really well, which is something you don't typically see from a regular chicken breast that doesn't have any bones in it. So it's actually the whole chicken breast, and then there is a piece of the wing which has been left attached to it. And that's been pushed down a little bit, and the part of the bone from the wing has been exposed, which adds a really nice element to presentation when you put this onto a plate. Plus the fact that this is a cut that you don't typically see in a supermarket or butcher shop. It would be something that you have to go to a more specialized butcher for, or something that you would have to request specially. So the great thing about this cut is that the skin is on as well, and that adds a really nice other layer to the actual cooked final product, which is the fact that it's going to have a really nice, crisp, juicy, golden brown skin. And we achieve that by taking this and dipping it in flour just before we're going to cook it. So today we're going to be serving the French airline breast with a really nice pan gravy that we make from the drippings of the chicken once we cook it. Even though it's not technically a pan gravy because it doesn't include elements of a roux, we're still going to be calling it a pan gravy just for the sake of calling it a pan gravy. Okay, so the next part of this dish is going to be dredging this in a little bit of flour before we begin to pan sear it over there. So to dredge it in the flour, you just want a plain flour, all-purpose flour mix. You want your chicken breast. You don't actually have to pat it dry that much unless there's a ton of moisture coming out of it, but you definitely need to season both elements of it before you pan sear it. And that is truthfully the biggest mistake that most home cooks make, is the fact that they under season. And that's what makes food cooked at home not taste as good as food cooked in a restaurant. I mean, that plus the excessive use of butter in restaurants, let's be honest. So we're going to take salt and pepper, and we're going to season both the flour and the chicken, and then we're going to go ahead and pan sear that in a little bit of olive oil and butter to add some flavor, but also a nice high smoke point so that we get really good crispy and juicy chicken. And then to the flour, just a really nice sprinkling of salt. We already seasoned the chicken, so you don't have to go totally nuts and make sure it's perfect, but just really try and make sure that you get enough salt into both of these and enough pepper into both of them as well. So I'm just go ahead and mix that up. Nice evenly dispersed seasoning. I'm gonna go ahead and dip the chicken in, skin side down, make sure that gets a really nice light coat of flour, and then pinch some of it around the sides so that it's nice and evenly coated, and then flip it around, again pinching, picking it up, getting it into some of these little crevices that might not have been caught just by laying it down. Make sure you get that wingtip nice, spreading some of the skin up because it's going to cover some of the meat that might get exposed when the skin shrinks when it cooks. Making sure you get it into all the nooks and crannies, and then picking it up by that little drumette, dusting it off, making sure the skin comes around and coats all of it, but a nice light coat. You don't want any clumps of flour because that's going to taste and feel very awkward, so just dust that off really beautifully. And you can just lay it down in that flour while you bring it over to the pan. So we're going to go ahead and add in the chicken, picking it up out of that flour and dusting it off one more time to make sure there's not too much, and then just laying it skin side down into here. And you want to hear a really nice soft sizzle, which is what we just heard. And the skin will start to tighten up, and you'll see the chicken start to cook really, really beautifully. So now to finish the dish, we have this beautifully cooked piece of chicken. We have our pan gravy, which is in the pan right behind me. And I like to take it and slice it on a bit of a bias. When I'm done, you can see the juice is just squeezing out of there. Perfectly cooked chicken. So we're just gonna take a beautiful spoon of this pan gravy, which is perfectly thickened. So this is a fantastic way to cook chicken. Super simple, super delicious, that yields a super crispy, very, very moist product that goes with a sauce that you can pair with almost any vegetable or starch you would choose to serve with it.